Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. So we're going to do a little fight breakdown. John Tran, what's up, man? How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
So the reason why I have John here, we actually watched the Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder fight together. Tyson Fury was very, very dominant, stops Deontay Wilder in the seventh round. And, just want to have a little breakdown for you guys here. Because I did do a pre-fight preview where I was very, very wrong about predicting Wilder with a knockout. And you had something interesting that you were thinking about going into the fight, and I just want to kind of start from there.
So I thought that Fury was actually going to win the fight, but I never thought it was going to be in such a dominant fashion the way it was. I thought just a little piece from the first fight was that he was actually winning that fight. If it wasn't for the 12th round and him just summoning that power and just knocking him to the ground, and it wouldn't
summoning the power of his ancestors
and his vessel. But no, I mean he's a once a generational type of power puncher. But I think that he's Fury. That is probably the best technical big heavyweight boxer that we have currently right now.
Absolutely. And you saw the boxing prowess in the first fight. You saw it in the second fight, but in a more aggressive manner. And one of the reasons why I was a little reluctant of Fury going into the fight is changing the trainer. Ben Davison was a guy that helped him lose the weight, kind of on his redemption tour, helped him to that draw against Deontay Wilder, helped him in 2 victories last year. ESPN top rank contract, all that. And then it's like, oh, we're going to go in this direction with Sugar Hill Stewart, who is the nephew of the great late Emmanuel Stewart. And I'm going to Stitch Duran, who's one of the best cut men in the game. But the whole mindset was, he was very open before the fight. I'm going to knock this guy out. We're going to go after Deontay Wilder. We think that he can't fight off his back foot. But it's very crazy to hear somebody say we're going to go after a guy who's who has that type of power. And so, Andre Ward made a comment before the fight and said, we're going to say one or two things about Tyson Fury after this fight. Either he's crazy or he's crazy as a fox.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be the latter. And you really, really have to give all the respect, all the credit to Tyson Fury for not only betting on himself, but investing in himself, adding the weight, but doing it responsibly, adding that little bit of power. Because that third, I want to get your thoughts. The first knockdown in the third round, he takes that shot to I believe it was actually the left ear on a right hand. What did that? I mean, your thoughts on the lack of balance? I mean,
so that I honestly think is the only legit knockdown that he had throughout the fight. However, it did cause a lot of the, instability of Wilder's stance throughout the whole fight, and he was just off balance ever since then. And I know they came forward and said that he had a cut in his ear, but I feel like it was a ruptured eardrum.
I think he
messed with his equilibrium.
I think it definitely messed with his equilibrium. I did think the body punch later in the fight, I thought that was a legit knockdown too, where he flew backwards. But all the slipping, all the falling across the ring, at sometimes kind of grabbing Fury to kind of hold himself up. I do think that was all a result of the damage done in the third round. And the thing about Fury is he did damage even earlier than that with his jab. Because one of the things, if you go back and watch the first fight, Ben Davison kept saying in the corner, you can win this fight with your left hand alone. If you're responsible enough, you're so much better of a boxer than Deontay Wilder and trained that you can win this fight with your left hand. He actually opened up that first and second round just punishing him with his jab to the point where it looked like a power punch, right? And then he was able to build his whole attack off that, pressing the issue coming forward. I do want to ask you this question. As it relates to Deontay Wilder, I personally have a lot of respect for him lasting as long as he did. A lot of brothers would have got up out of there a lot sooner. We saw the Gerald Washington or the earlier fight. As soon as he got hit on the chin, good night.
We talked about that one.
In the case of Deontay Wilder, it was very, very controversial what occurred with this corner. Kenny Bayless has to stop at the corner, ask for the stoppage. There's actually been some reports that they actually had a disagreement even within the corner about stopping it because it seemed a little odd. My question to you is this. If you're in that position, how do you want to go out? Do you want to go out on your shield the way Wilder said? He said, I'm a warrior, I want to go on my shield. Or do you want your corner to step? Like, what's your opinion on that?
So, you and I have both discussed this already, but I personally, if I'm a champion, I would rather him take the championship for me or have the ref stop it as opposed to my corner stop it. I understand why they allowed him to come out for the 7th round, just because he has that unique one punch power. Seeing if it did it, but once he got him against the ropes, they knew it was over, so they threw it in at that point. I agree that they probably shouldn't have let him go into the 7th round because he was hardly standing up.
That's where I'm at. I wouldn't have, if I was the corner. I think at that point you hug your fighter, you tell him you love him. We have a rematch clause. I got to protect you moving forward. It's 2020, and what we know about.
Do you think he publicly fired them from that post-fight interview?
Well, it's funny you say that because on the broadcast, I thought Andre Ward did a tremendous job, by the way. I really enjoy his commentary as much as I enjoyed him as a fighter. But he was actually blowing them up, the corner, in the 5th round because he's like, where are the adjustments? Mm-hmm. They're not only – forget the adjustments. They're not even stopping the bleeding. Right? They're not wiping his face. It just seemed like more of a pit crew type of thing where they're just patching holes and trying to figure, and then the time's up and they're going back out there. Meanwhile, Tyson Fury is constantly, him and his corner have much better communication. They're making necessary adjustments. And I think that's the story of this fight as a whole. Tyson Fury, as well as he fought, because, guys, the first fight was a draw, right? And Deontay Wilder before the fight said, I don't need to make adjustments. I just need to execute better. And Tyson Fury said, no, I need a team around me that's going to push me to be a better boxer. I need to go after this person. Now, whether that was because he felt Wilder's power in the first fight and was like, you know what, as well as I boxed, there's no way I'm going to sustain that over 12 rounds again. I need to go after this guy. Or, hey, I also left a lot of meat on the bone. I could have been in better physical shape. I could have been a lot more stronger. And I'm as the better boxer, I should go after this guy.
I mean, everything worked to Fury's favor.
Perfectly.
Even him just charging forward constantly, punches and bunches that he was throwing. His different types of
activity was high, absolutely.
Every time that even Wilder would even try to just grasp him just to get a breather in, that worked to Fury's favor because he just used his size to kind of manhandle him, give him a little love tap right in the ribs. That just wears on you throughout the fight. So I mean, everything.
Especially when Wilder had no
perfection.
legs.
Yeah,
his legs look like toothpicks. Mm-hmm. And so I think at this point moving forward, because I want to end the video here. Because I also want to get to Trans singing of American Pie. He was singing right along with Tyson Fury last
Fantastic.
night. Moving forward for both fighters, Deontay Wilder, in his case, maybe this is finally the wake-up call that you need to train. You've been trained as an athlete, and you've been getting away with being the most athletic guy and this powerful guy, but your boxing skills are lacking, brother, and you got exposed by a real boxer again, right? Maybe this is finally the wake-up call to make the adjustments that Tyson Fury had the foresight to make before this fight and get with some coaches or some real trainers that can develop. You don't even see him utilize a sound jab at times. With all that power, you need something to set it up with, right? And he just doesn't have that ability to set those traps and do those things that you see from the better, more skilled boxers. Maybe that's the wake-up call for him. We'll see. Do you think he exercises the rematch clause? I think he has 30 days to do it.
Yeah, I think he does. I mean, it's a huge paycheck still, too, regardless. It probably, what's the time frame on when the actual fight would be, though?
Either it could potentially be as early as this summer, although I think he's going to need more time.
He's going to need a lot more time, especially with the ear, because I think it's more than just a cut in the ear.
I agree.
So I definitely take that, and like you said, just maybe this might have woken up a sleeping giant type of thing, and makes him focus more on just the minuscule things that will make him just
that are very, very important. Now, if you're Tyson Fury, the world is yours, right? You are we look at boxing pound for pound rankings. He's going to be in the top 5, maybe top 3 fighters in the world. He's definitely the most popular heavyweight. Now, if you divide the 4 world heavyweight title distinctions, they're now all owned by the UK. 4 of them are with Anthony Joshua, 4 of them are with Tyson Fury. It's going to be very, very interesting to see. I saw Eddie Hearn talking about it's going to be a fun summer. Well, Eddie Hearn, get your fighter, Anthony Joshua, and let's come over here and let's have some fun, right? Why not have this fight in like Wembley Stadium or somewhere where you have it? Because they're talking about they were going to fight in America, and I'm like,
having a national championship.
Like, have a, you know what I'm saying? Let's have a civil war. I would love to see that. Now, the UK owns heavyweight boxing, which is funny because not even when was the Joshua Ruiz the second fight? Was that December? Whenever that was. So just a few months ago, U.S. had it all because Andy Ruiz had all of Joshua's belts, and Wilder had, well, not all of them because Tyson Fury still had the lineal, but Ruiz and Wilder had it. The USA had it, and now UK has it because Joshua's beating Ruiz. Fury has destroyed Wilder. We got to see Joshua and Fury. I want to see that fight now more than maybe a third fight from Fury Wilder, but I totally understand if Wilder wants that rematch and wants to actually take his training. Now, if he comes in here with the same game plan, starts talking the same nonsense about I just need to execute better, then miss me with that, bro. That's where I'm at. But that's all I got, unless you want to close us out with some American Pie.
I'm not singing it, but I thought it was hilarious that he broke that out and it had everyone singing it, even probably a ton of Americans. Which
I will say this, though, and you said this to me coming on. It was a good night for boxing.
Fantastic.
Boxing needed this. I think they set a record for Gate at MGM Grand for a heavyweight title.
Especially for heavyweight, man.
Absolutely.
There hasn't been
and
a
I was so
marquee
happy to
heavyweight
see.
fight in a long
I know
time.
Lennox Lewis was calling it as well, but to see Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, all those great guys out there. I saw Riddick Bowe a couple nights ago at a different fight, but just seeing them being celebrated, I thought was really, really important, and it was a really, really good night for boxing. Whenever you have a guy that was already a global star ascend to global superstar status, and I think that's what Tyson Fury did with his dominating TKO victory over Deontay Wilder in the 7th round. So, guys, that's all we got. We'll be back with more. Peace.